Welcome back, everyone. We're talking about something strange that just came across our news feeds here, and that is Lord of the Rings. Amazon calls allegations of unsafe workplace for stunt performers completely inaccurate. I hadn't even heard that people were calling that the workplace for stunt performers unsafe. Um, at least I hadn't heard anything concrete. I've heard a few kind of weird YouTubers that are very they like to do a lot of scare stories. They've talked about it, but this is the first time I've seen it in article form such as this, and Amazon has responded. Do you have any, have you heard about this stuff before?
No.
No. Um, so yeah, as we read along here, basically a couple, I guess a bunch of these stunt performers have started to come out and talk about their treatment by Amazon while working in New Zealand. And the one that I think gets the most attention is Dana Grant. They suffered a concussion while working on set, and then that was never reported because they didn't think that it was serious, and so they didn't leave the set. They didn't stay at the hospital. However, that led to her having to undergo emergency brain surgery, which is really scary. So yeah, and that's, if they didn't catch it because they were sort of just overlooking it just to get them back out there, that's not okay. Obviously mistakes happen, but that's just one of a couple here. There's another one down here of Thomas Kiwi, and he injured his right shoulder rotator cuff, and he had complained prior to doing the stunt that the rig was not set up properly, and he got injured doing it. And again, because he didn't have to go to the hospital, this was not a reported injury by Amazon to New Zealand's WorkSafe. I guess it's like a government body that makes sure that your workplace is safe, that kind of stuff. And so it does seem like there's quite a few of these injuries not being reported. But again, I don't know too much about what needs to be reported. There is a quick line here.
Yeah, maybe New Zealand's requirements or WorkSafe's requirements aren't enough.
It could be. I would have thought that they would be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it says here that they're only required to report them if they are considered, quote, notifiable and involve an overnight stay at a hospital. But I mean, you might not need to go to the hospital. You might just be injured, and so that, I don't know. It does seem sort of strange. It does seem. I mean, there's gonna have to be.
Requiring an overnight stay at the hospital's pretty drastic.
Yeah, that's
even if you break an arm, you probably don't need to stay overnight.
That's what I'm thinking, right? That's what I'm like. It seems to be a pretty high bar to consider it a workplace injury that needs to be reported if it's truly you need to hospital stay for that to take into effect. So it does seem like there's a lot of injuries that would not go reported, and so unless someone comes out and talks about it, there's no way to know. There's no way to know what's happening. There's a third one, Elisa Cadwell. So she claims that Amazon paid her $500,000 when she was injured, as I guess some sort of settlement for her to go back and recuperate at her home in Australia. So, unclear what's kind of going on there. There's this sort of statement here at the bottom that there has been 16,200 stunt person days worked. with an injury rate of 0.068%, which seems very small. But is that only ones that were overnight at a hospital? That, I mean, it almost seems too small. You know what I mean? Like it almost seems like that number is too low. You'd expect
you
some
think
injuries
to be fairly frequent.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think, like
minor ones.
Like watching like professional sports. There's a much higher rate of injury in that. Like, you know, you just not that they always go to the hospital, but sometimes they sit out for a period or miss the rest of the game, just as a precaution, and then they come back the next day. But like, to me, those are all injuries, and I think the bar is a bit too high if it's the hospital stay. But if all this is sort of true, then it is kind of troubling. I don't want this to be how you make this new TV show. You know, like people need to be safe, and there's safe ways to do it. So yeah, and there is this thing where like some of the maneuvers, the stunt people are uncomfortable performing, and they're still having them perform these maneuvers, or if the rig isn't set up right, that kind of stuff. So that's all very, very scary, and I'm not happy to hear that if all that is true, and it does seem like it is. You got 3 different stunt people here talking about it, and not just some person that's not even really working on it. So there's three people actually involved in this project. So that's that is not great to see. So I guess we'll keep an eye on this to see if anything else happens. But yeah, not a great story here. You got anything else to add about this?
Well, I mean, it's Amazon. Amazon has a history of, but they wouldn't put air conditioners in the warehouse. It was cheaper to just have an ambulance on standby.
True.
when the workers passed out.
True.
So it's a bad look for them if their bad workplace extends to their film projects.
That's right, and I you know what, I think you're right on the right track there. Like even if this isn't true, and I think it is, even if it isn't, you need to make sure that it doesn't have this bad look to it. Like this is gonna be like a Lord of the Rings TV series, could become the biggest TV show in the world, but you can't have this kind of stuff hanging over its head. You have the money, Amazon. Just make sure that it's done properly. I just don't get why they would cut corners on the amount of money that they've put into this already to get the rights and to set up everything. The fact that you would jeopardize it with this, like, but like you said, it's Amazon, and they have a calculation somewhere of money versus, you know, lives, I guess. I don't know. So I'll keep an eye out on this, and hopefully we hear some good news regarding Amazon either changing their tune or something, because yeah, like you said, not a good look. But yeah, that's it for this one. You know, if you guys have heard anything that sort of ties in with this, leave it in the comments down below. We would really like to take a look, and hope to see you guys all next time. Bye for now.